Hi guys, this isn't the normal type of video that I would post to my YouTube channel that often, but so I had to do a research project for my English class, and we could have chosen any topic, and I chose the topic of autism because I have a younger brother named Ethan who has autism. He's 12 years old, and so I decided that it would be a great way to just share about autism and advocate for it and just spread awareness about the disability. So I hope you guys enjoy my video. Okay, so one of the things I have is that according to the Oxford Dictionary, autism is a neurodevelopmental condition of variable severity with lifelong effects that can be recognized from early childhood, chiefly characterized by difficulties with social interaction and communication, and by restricted or repetitive patterns of thought and behavior. A lot of people just see it as a disability or a restriction to their lives, but it's so much more than that. Individuals with autism have been able to accomplish so many more things that they ever than the doctors ever could have told them they could do. Like me personally, my brother, he was diagnosed as nonverbal, but he talks literally every single day, and he's been able to do so much more than the doctors ever told him he can do. And I know that with a lot of other individuals that are his friends that he goes to school with are in the same situation. Okay, so one of the main questions that gets asked a lot is, what is a cause of autism, or what has caused autism? So I've done some research on here. And so Autism Speaks is a very reliable source of information when it comes to autism and when you want information, how to advocate, how to spread awareness for autism. But Autism Speaks on their website says there's no one cause of autism. Research suggests that autism develops from a combination of genetic and non-genetic or environmental influences. And I think that one thing that many people think is vaccines are a leading cause of autism, but that's false. Autism Speaks also says that scientists have conducted excessive research over the last 2 decades to determine whether there's any link between childhood vaccinations and autism, and the results of this search is clear. Vaccines do not cause autism, so don't worry. You can get your shots and it will not cause autism. But I think that that's a question that a lot of people have because, they really haven't found a cause of autism other than genetic, and it's a question for my family because we still don't know what could have caused it. But, I mean, maybe they'll find that out one day, which I really hope that they do, and it would be a great piece of information to help others. Another thing I want to talk about that not a lot of people know of is the autism spectrum. So whenever people talk about autism, they don't really know that there's a spectrum about it. So the spectrum is in 3 different levels. And level 1 is the lowest classification. It includes individuals that require support with issues like social interaction and lack of organization. Level 2 is the middle range. Individuals in this level often have problems that are more obvious to the public, and it often includes trouble with verbal communication, restrictive interests, and repetitive behaviors. And the 3rd level is the most severe, where signs of level 1 and 2 are still present, but are more severe and have other complications. And they tend to have very limited speech and communication skills. So that information I got from Lane Regional Medical Center, and I will also have that website that I used a link down in the description below, along with every single item of information that I've gotten or that I've talked about, and every single piece of information that I will talk about later in the video. So now I sat down with a couple of my friends. I sat down with one of my brother's teachers, or one of his former teachers, just about how autism affects the classroom. And then at the end of the video, I talked with my friend Malia, who is the founder of the Unified Champions Club here at Broken Arrow High School. So stay tuned to watch the rest of the video, and more stuff down in the description. Okay, so Hi, I'm here with Miss Dana Lawson.
Hi.
Okay, so how many years have you been teaching Special Ed?
I've been teaching this is my 16th year, teaching kids with special needs.
Okay, that's amazing. Okay, and you work at Wolf Creek?
I work at Wolf Creek.
Okay, what grades do you teach?
I teach kindergarten and first right now, but I have taught my first year at Leisure Park, my first 3 years at Leisure Park, I taught, my whole class was kindergarten through 5th grade.
Okay.
And so I had, but we usually have 8 or less children in our program.
Okay, so I have a couple questions for you. The first one is, how are children with autism different than neurotypical children in the classroom?
Okay, so autism is a communication disorder. Autism, it's very complicated, which is why it rises differently in each child. And so it can be difference of repetitive patterns or repetitive patterns of behavior, difficulties with social connection and interaction. So being able to sit here and give you eye contact, being able to know what's expected of me is really hard, and that comes very differently. Understanding feelings is very difficult as well, and they repeat a lot of things. It's called echolalia, and so they repeat. If I say, good morning, how are you? They would say, good morning, how are you? And so because they don't understand that their job is to say, I'm fine, how are you? Or good morning. So they just repeat what you're saying because they don't understand what to say.
Yeah.
It's usually diagnosed as early as like 18 months old all the way up. And the earlier intervention that you can get early interventions, the quicker that it gets diagnosed, which is really good in early childhood. Autism, there is no cure for autism. It is how the brain is formed and how the brain works. It is not, there's not a cure, but students with autism, people with autism can learn new behaviors. They can learn boundaries. They can learn and understand about the world around them, just like everybody else can learn the world around them. They just need a different perspective on how to learn things. They still deserve the same boundaries, the same rules, and the same respect that everyone else gets. It just looks a little bit different, and we have to give them a little bit more grace to learn that. That's why it's called a developmental delay, because their growth starts later. It doesn't mean they don't have the growth, it just means it starts later.
Okay, so another question I have for you is, how does autism affect a student's educational growth?
Well, what happens when I get kids in kindergarten, a lot of my students are not toilet trained, they're not communicating. Some of them can say a few words, but most of them are completely nonverbal. I teach some of the lowest students in our district, the lowest functioning students in our district, but at the same time, one of my students, they all have different savant type behaviors. Some of my students can read on a 12th grade level at kindergarten, first, second grade, but it's really hard to understand what they're reading until you figure that out. Some of them can I've had kindergartners that can multiply and do division and do really high savant type skills, but they don't understand how to use the bathroom in the toilet, or they don't understand that I'm asking them to hang up their backpack. Most of that comes from them not understanding the language that we're saying. And so when we speak something to them and we say, hang up your backpack, they hear all of these other noises going on, as well as what you're saying doesn't come up to the top. Their brain doesn't filter out your voice any different than the lights buzzing or another child talking or something else. And so the noise plays a huge role with kids with autism.
Yeah, I know that one thing that you were saying about, like, with the younger kids who can, like, have a higher math skill or reading skill than others. I know that with Ethan, like we found that he has different things. Like with Google Earth, where you can take him somewhere for the first time and he can go and find it on Google Earth immediately.
Yes.
Or how we can tell him a date, like any day, any year, and he can know what day of the week it was on.
Yes, he knows when people's birth dates are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really a savant type behavior. Yeah.
Okay, so
very brilliant.
Yeah.
Very brilliant.
So my final question for you are, what are some of the benefits of teaching special needs classes?
So for me, I have a smaller class size. Teaching in a regular gen ed neurotypical classroom would be really hard for me because there's 25 to 30 students in a classroom. I have 8 to 10, maximum 10 in a classroom, but I am looking at their individual needs. I also have 2 paraprofessionals that work in my classroom that help me, that I direct to help, and so I do have help. But I think the coolest thing for me, and this is my passion and my favorite thing, is watching a child's face when they really truly understand what it is you're trying to get them to understand. And you can see on their face I know what you're wanting me to do. And then they do it. And then to me, there have been times in my classroom that has just made me cry because I have watched this child struggle, even trying to hang up a backpack or even trying to focus on something. But then things take us years to learn a certain kind of behavior or a certain thing. But when they finally meet that goal, it's totally worth watching it. And so we do a lot of work for one small thing, and watching them get that definitely is the coolest thing for me. It's definitely the coolest.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, thank you so much for sitting
You're
down
welcome.
and talking with me.
Absolutely. If you have any more questions, please feel free to reach out to me.
I know Miss Lawson is going to send me a couple videos, and I'm going to go and link them in the description if you want more information about this subject. But thank you so much for meeting with me.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. I'll see you guys later.
Bye. Hi, I'm here with Malia Ziriax.
Hi, I'm Malia. I have a sister with Down syndrome. I also run the Unified Club at Broken Arrow High School.
Okay, so Malia, I have a question for you. What are a couple ways that people can help advocate and show awareness for the special needs community?
Yeah, so I would suggest using your advantages. So social media is a big one. That's a good one to use. But I also would suggest not hiding behind it. It's a good advantage to use. So try to really make a big platform on there if you have it or if you can. But also, like I said, don't hide behind it. So make sure that you're not an influencer, but you're an advocator. So really, go out there and go in your community, make a club at your school. Maybe you can join our club. Maybe try to meet some friends and just really make it your whole personality, your whole, and just constantly advocate and teach people and educate. And so use your advantages and just try your best to really get out there, not hide behind, only use social media, but really get out there and do it.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, Malia.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you guys so much for watching my video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any other questions, my Instagram DMs are always open, and I'm always happy to help answer any other questions that you have. I would really appreciate it if you guys would want to share this video on social media, if you wanted to share it on Instagram, on your stories, or just stuff like that, just to be able to spread awareness. But thank you guys so much for watching my video. Bye!